Have you ever wondered why a cup of coffee, a comfy chair, and a steady paycheck make you want to howl at the moon in pure misery? Well, congratulations, you're completely sane. It's just that your body and brain is still stuck in the Stone Age. You're trying to force an operating system built for hunting woolly mammoths to run basic spreadsheets during a brutal 9-to-5 grind. This internal glitch is slowly turning all of us into twitchy, neurotic wrecks. Let's break down exactly how our evolution broke and why hunter-gatherers in Tanzania are still way happier than any high-paid corporate executive.
Take a look in the mirror. Do you honestly see a civilized human being in a freshly ironed shirt? Think again. Biologically speaking, you are a hairy hominid designed to sprint across the savanna with a stick, tracking antelope tracks. Anthropologists like Frank Marlowe spend decades studying the Hadza tribe, proving a simple fact. Our bodies evolved for intense physical labor, blazing sunlight, and fresh air. So what did we do? We locked this Paleolithic masterpiece in a stuffy room, shoved it into an office chair, and forced it to stare at a glowing rectangle for 8 hours a day. Then we invented fitness trackers just to remind ourselves to hit our 10,000 steps. Think about how absurd this is. We literally pay gym memberships just to simulate the basic everyday activity of a prehistoric human who is simply walking to find lunch. Our bodies are absolutely terrified. The organism has no clue why we're sitting perfectly still, so it starts slowly destroying itself out of sheer boredom and stagnation.
If you find yourself standing by an open refrigerator at 3 a.m., aggressively dynamic shoving a third slice of cake down your throat in pitch darkness, don't beat yourself up. It's not a lack of willpower. It's your inner Australopithecus waking up. In the wild, sugar, fat, and salt were incredibly rare jackpots. If an ancient hunter stumbled upon a tree filled with wild honey, he didn't save it for tomorrow. He gorged on the whole thing right then and there before the bees or his neighbors could take it away. Survival of the fittest meant survival of the fastest to store fat. Today, that exact evolutionary mechanism has turned us into an overweight society. Food is everywhere now. All it takes is 3 lazy taps on a food delivery app. But our ancient brain is still fully convinced we are starving in the Kalahari Desert, screaming, "Eat it while it's there. Tomorrow will be too late." We become helpless victims of our own abundance, an abundance that nature simply didn't prepare us for.
Let's talk about your anxiety. Why do you break into a cold sweat the exact second your boss pings you on Slack or Teams saying, "Step into my office"? The stress mechanism was designed by evolution for one single purpose: to save your skin from the jaws of a saber-toothed tiger. When your ancestor spotted a predator, his adrenaline spiked, his heart pounded violently, and blood rushed away from his stomach straight to his muscles so he could run faster or fight harder. The whole ordeal took about 3 minutes. You either escaped or you became lunch. Either way, the stress ended. There are no tigers in the modern world, but they've been replaced by deadlines, mortgages, and passive-aggressive side-eyes from your coworkers. Your brain reacts to an angry email from your client the exact same way it would to an apex predator attack. Cortisol floods your system by the ton. The catch? You can't run away from your boss into the woods, and you can't hit him with a wooden club. So the stress becomes chronic, literally burning us up from the inside. Ancient humans never had to deal with their problems alone. The Kung people, studied by Richard Lee, lived in tight-knit groups of about 30. They slept side by side, cooked together, raised children together, and laughed together. Back then, loneliness meant guaranteed swift death. That's why isolation acts as a maximum security red alert for our psyche. What do we have today? We live in massive metropolises, surrounded by millions of people, yet we're locked inside our tiny, concrete apartment boxes. You might have thousands of virtual contacts, but there's no one to genuinely vent to around a campfire at night. We shattered the traditional community and replaced it with social media, which provides nothing but an illusion of intimacy. The brain senses this profound isolation and flips on a deep, agonizing survival mourn mode, the very thing modern psychiatrists call depression. Do you toss and turn in bed cursing your insomnia because you woke up at 3 in the morning? Wrong again. Historians and anthropologists have proven that before the invention of the light bulb, humanity never slept for 8 consecutive hours in one solid monolithic block. Our ancestors practiced what is called segmented sleep. They went to bed at sunset, slept for about 4 hours, and then woke up in the dead of night. During this midnight gap, they would stoke the campfire, chat, smoke, or check the perimeter for prowling hyenas. After that, they'd drift right back to sleep until dawn. Furthermore, someone in the tribe was always awake. This is exactly why evolution split us into night owls and early birds, to ensure the camp always had a sentry on duty. Today, we force the entire population to live on a single, rigid corporate schedule, and then we act surprised when half the office looks like extras from The Walking Dead. The entire life of wild tribes is bound to natural rhythms. The sun rises, we wake. A torrential downpour hits, we sit under a shelter. Winter arrives, we migrate south. They never had wristwatches, calendars, or sync meetings. No one ever told a Hadza hunter that he had to bring back a rabbit by exactly 2 p.m., or else his quarterly bonus would be docked. Humanity invented the clock for one reason: to coordinate factory lines during the Industrial Revolution. We chained our existence to artificial ticking clock hands and turned ourselves into slaves to the schedule. Every single morning, millions of people wake up not because their bodies are well rested, but because a wretched digital alarm screech rips them violently out of deep REM sleep. We've cornered ourselves into time frames that completely contradict our biology, and we are paying the price in a currency of eternal fatigue. What's the ultimate takeaway here? Look, we've built an incredible world of comfort. We have 15-minute grocery deliveries, hot running water, advanced medicine, and heated apartments. We no longer have to risk our lives for a piece of meat, and that is a massive victory for our species. But we forgot one crucial detail. You cannot rewrite millions of years of evolutionary biological code in just a couple of centuries. Beneath your expensive clothes and sophisticated thoughts, a troglodyte is still running the show. Stop demanding the impossible from your body. It still craves the simple things: real human connection without a screen, long walks, natural sunlight, and guilt-free time to absolutely legally do nothing. Stop acting like robots. Let your inner ape just sit in the shade by the fire every once in a while.